So if you know you have any question for Ms. Bibe, please drop it in the chat room, and she's actually here to answer those questions. All right, so I think we have one question from Mr. Solomon Ojelade. So he's saying, can you assist with a specific example of situation robotic innovation could be applied?
In processes, like I gave an example, for instance, of the process. It's really like if you have like a specific process. Look at accounting, for example. Doing things on Excel, I would call it manual. Doing a VLOOKUP to compare this from that. You can use technology and automate that process. You can use technology. There's ACL, there's IDEA. I'm just giving an instance, right, to actually revamp and be able to just get things. Like with those systems, you don't need to do formulas and scripts, and then you're calculating how come this is not giving the result, and you're seeing those NA, because I use manual Excel a lot, so you're seeing those annoying NA, that what's happening here, right? Look at an organization as well. I also gave the example of Domino's, right? And previously food ordering process, it wasn't automated. They set up that process to actually automate like food ordering, and they were able to overtake. But all these things didn't just happen that, oh, we're doing this. They had to develop their technology internally. They had to put certain things in place to be able to assess trends. I gave the scenario of digital dashboards. You have to be able to assess trends and see how things are going and fluctuations in the market, and when it's best to release. Without having that data and that visual side of things, that it will be hard to actually automate processes. Also in my organization, there are lots of examples in my organization, like audit processes, because I report things to senior management for the PCI framework. Previously, it was manual, more of, okay, this is what is done. But then we developed a technology tool to automate the process and see that, okay, these are the PCI standards we're meeting, these are the ones that we're not meeting. And then it resulted in having like a graphical kind of report that, okay, on average, these are the PCI standards that we don't meet, and these are the ones we meet, something like that, So it depends on and based on that, we know that what is the value we're getting from the PCI one. We know that when the auditor comes, because we have a mandatory external auditor coming in, when they come in to actually check, we already know we're compliant, or this is the average of what is compliant and what is spending. So it's really dependent on the process that you're seeing that this is the high risk to the organization, evaluating the organization and seeing, or maybe it's costing a lot of time and effort by for somebody, and you're more of like, how can we make this better? How can we automate it? Or maybe you're looking at the resultant effect that, okay, this is going to bring revenue. We need to automate it or make it quick to market. So different ways to actually assess how to make things like adopt technology in the process. Great question.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Bibe. Mr. Solomon, I believe you heard the response she gave on that question. So I think I'd like to bring also into this call Mr. Babajide Daramola, because I believe some of the questions also pertain to the presentation he gave earlier on. So if Mr. Babajide is on this call, I'd also like to have him join us.
Yeah.
So the second, okay, yeah.
Hello. Yeah, like from the question that the man asked, robotic automation can be used where you have repetitive tasks, mostly in the manufacturing industry. You can set up a robotic automation where you need labor to move one goods, one material from one point to the other. Robot can do that for you. So that is an instance where robotic innovation can be used. Majorly, it's in high value business environment.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you for that contribution, Mr. Babajide. So I have again another question from Mr. Makinde Mayowa, of Miss Makinde Mayowa. I'm sorry, I don't know if I Miss or Mr. So how does the medium-sized organization, especially in Nigeria, meet up with this pain? as digital transformation can cost a lot, which most of them can't afford. So that's the question. How does a medium-sized organization, especially in Nigeria, meet up with this change as digital transformation can cost a lot, which most of them can't afford? I think I'll allow you, Mr. Babajide, to take on this question.
Yes, you see, I will give this a very practical example. You see, medium-sized organization can easily take benefit of this transformation. The costs are not all that killing. Like I said, my firm is within the range of medium, micro, medium size and practices. We are automated, right? We are automated. It depends on your desire. Do you want to take your business beyond your current level? If that is the desire of the management or the owner of the business, you will not see the cost as an hindrance. You will go for it. Like I said in my presentation, when I started this practice, I was totally using manual records, using accounting ledger, Balamazu, all the rest. But when I discovered an accounting package online with internet, first thing I did was to go and get an internet. I mean, to go and get internet, Swift internet provider. I'm with my laptop. I connected. I downloaded the software. I subscribed to that software, and since then we have been progressing in our service delivery to our client. So any business can easily adapt transformation if the business owner is willing to adapt it. Digital transformation it's not the cost we are looking at now. If there are varieties of this software that can easily that an SME can easily procure to aid his business. So that is it's not, to me, I don't see that cost as an hindrance to change. You understand? It's just that the problem we're having now is the dollar exchange. And that is why we are going local, looking for similar provider in Nigeria that can provide such software that can aid our service delivery. Before, some years back, we have this Caseware. We paid almost $1,500 to acquire Caseware. That was 2016, 2018. But now Caseware is in Nigeria, it's in Naira. So as an audit firm, if you are serious about your transformation agenda, then you must go digital. So also with the other software that we have acquired, like Stride ERP, it's local. We are using it to deliver services to clients, and we are also using it in our office. So we have tried to mitigate. I mean, we have tried to reduce our use of foreign software in Nigeria now due to this. So it is not the cost, but it is the desire of the business owner that he really or she really wants to go digital. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Babajide. Okay, so the next question we have is from Anthony Madumere. So he said, how do we get to convince traditional SMEs to embrace technological advancement?
Your competitors will make you to convince you. Your competitors, because if you have a competitor that is going digital and you remain local, you blame yourself at the end of the day. I don't know whether Big will have something to say to that.
I was reading up the chat, so I got a bit distracted. What was the question?
Okay, so the question is, how do we get to convince traditional SMEs to embrace technological advancement?
How do we what?
How do we get to convince traditional SMEs to embrace technological advancement?
I think the best way to convince traditional SMEs is to show them practical scenarios and real life scenarios, like show examples of similar traditional SMEs that have adopted it and the value that they've obtained from it, right? Even if it's not local, like just show like somebody that has a similar framework in maybe another country or another continent. See what this was traditional, and this is what happened, and this is the value they got. So based on that, I believe practical, especially in Nigeria, like we believe what we see. If we don't see something, it's very hard. Let me see it. Where is the evidence of it? So once they have that practical situation, then I believe that that would help convince them.
Okay. All right. So very quickly, Onyinye Afolabi is asking, what could be an excellent way of transforming cultural change in an organization that is working from home? Some persons still today just feel until they see you one-on-one, work cannot take place. How do we work on such persons? Yeah, so Ms. Bibe or Mr. Babajide could just
I'll leave that to Mr. Babajide to.
Yeah, what's the question again? Sorry.
So she said, what could be an excellent way of transforming cultural change in an organization that is working from home? Some persons till today just feel until they see you one-on-one, work cannot take place. How do we work on such persons?
Where's the end part of the content? I'm trying to read it up so that I can, because I'm having trouble. I think there's some feedback from your end. Okay. Okay, now I've seen it. Sorry, Mr. Babajide, go on. Then I'll.
Okay. Well, I will first of all, when you want to do transforming, I mean, you want to change, you want to ensure cultural change, it has to come from top to down, right? The moment the owner or the managers in the business have bought into the idea of we must change this culture of this organization, then it has to cascade down to the other members of staff. Then also there must be a monitoring process. There must be you must be able to, like with this question, working from home, some persons see today just feel that they see you one-on-one or cannot work take place. No, if your staff is working from home, there must be a task that you expect that staff to deliver. So that is why the management team needs to have what I term monitoring or checks on their staff, that is, they deliver what assignment that has been assigned to them in time. So, but cultural change in an organization takes a lot, that will cascade from top to down. If you are preaching cultural change and your staff are not seeing you depicting that change, then you know that will not work. But when you are preaching cultural change in your organization, your subordinates or your colleagues start seeing you exhibiting that change, then they will follow suit. We are saying that for instance, now in my firm, there was a time we had this issue in facilitating some certain transaction, and we now came to realize that it almost brought about integrity issue to our firm. And immediately, we all agree that henceforth in our firm, such activity should not be carried out, and has to come from top to down. That then everybody in the firm knows that we maintain integrity, and you cannot facilitate any process of, well, maybe you want to bribe somebody to do this. No, it is not done again. So that is how you ensure cultural change. But where my men say, oh yes, let's go and double this, let's go and double this, then the staff will continue. The culture will not change. So, but like people said in that presentation, cultural change help in, you have to, it's one of the points you have to follow when you are transforming from top. But the staff must believe, because you see, I've had the experience whereby we want to transform from one technology to another, and the staff will tell you that, oh, that's how we have been doing it. It will not work. It will not work. It will not work. You know, the MD needs to buy into it. If the MD buy into it, then the system will work. But where the ND fail to buy into it, it will not work. So it has to be from the management down. It can't be from top down.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Babajide. Do you have an input there, Ms. Bibe?
I think Mr. Babajide really hit the nail on the head for it. I think for my company, what helped in terms of like work from home is that we look at MS Teams, for instance. Before COVID, was anybody using MS Teams? That is technology that was brought in place that, okay, COVID now, people are working from home. We have frequent meetings like with the team members, periodic to discuss what we're doing and stuff like that. So the question from Onyinye is a bit, so in terms of what cannot take place, if you mean from employee, I feel like frequent check-ins and stuff. If it's from like customers, is more of the orientation to the customer, letting him know that the product or service would not be impacted, you know, and same with if it's a vendor, you know. So I'm not really clear on what kind of persons would you say working from home. Some persons till today just feel until they see you one-on-one, work cannot take place. How do we work on such persons? Frequent calls like this, you know, face-to-face calls, like at least I'm seeing, I can see Chidima very well, I can see Mr. Babajide. So if they're telling me there's really no difference than me being next to them. That's what I see, and that's what organizations need to know. Is no more business as usual. In Canada, for example, with COVID, we've had to change things in terms of technology, the way we work. We've changed business model. A lot of people like is no more work from the office every day. So like what you're saying, how would the person copy? A lot of organizations have set up new policies that only come 2 times a week. So even with the vaccine and stuff, you will still like this has come to stay. So the person just has that orientation to understand the impact and the pros.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Babajide and Ms. Bimbe, for those detailed presentation and of course the responses. I'm sure that our audience have a whole lot of takeaway from the presentations. Again, thank you very much for joining us in this webinar session.